Hello friends, it's been a while since we've taken a look at some custom pieces of rolling stock for the Thomas Wooden Railway line, and so today's focus is going to be on these custom narrow gauge coaches that were made by DomelessEngine. They are supposed to represent the light blue coaches that were seen in the Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends TV series during Season 4, but not necessarily after Season 4 for one very particular aspect, which I'll explain later. So again, these coaches were made by DomelessEngine, and they really don't have, names necessarily. I'm just going to go by their major expressions that each of the coaches is showing. So this coach right here is Happy Coach number 1, because you could probably tell it has a happy face on the front of it. So each of these coaches is going to look remarkably similar to each other in terms of, what they look like on the outside. We have a couple doors. Each of the coaches is painted in like this light blue color, about 2/3 of the way up from the bottom, and then the top third is painted white, and then we have some black squares which are supposed to represent windows. The top of each coach is not the same color as the white. It looks to be like a light gray. But each of these coaches is going to look the same all the way around, with the exception of their custom expression. So each of these coaches was made from a licensed Annie coach. So these are like actual Thomas products that have just been repainted to look like narrow gauge coaches. You can kind of see the remnants of the like the brown that used to be Annie. And then the face is what sets each of these coaches apart. So I kind of nicknamed this one Happy Coach number 1 because it looks happy to me, and hopefully it looks happy to you. If you look at the nose, it looks like there's 2 noses there, or like 2 triangles, and what that's supposed to represent is a 3-dimensional nose, like coming towards you. So it looks weird from the side, you're like, what? But then if you look at it head on and you look at the area where the 2 triangles connect, hopefully you sort of see a 3-dimensional nose like sticking out towards you. So that's what that's supposed to represent. But each of these coaches is really nicely done. They're highly detailed, and I love the expressions, especially because they were hand painted on by DomelessEngine. So that's Happy Coach number 1. Let's take a look at Happy Coach number 2, which looks pretty similar to the coach we just looked at. Again, blue, white, and gray paint. The face, let me bring in the one we just looked at. This one appears to be looking straight ahead. This one more off to the side. So if there's any difference between the two, I guess that would be it. Again, made from an Annie coach. These got a little chipped up on the way here. I'll probably have to come along with some touch-up paint at some point, because DomelessEngine mailed them to me, and then they're all in the box like hitting each other and everything. So that's why you see some areas where the paint's been worn off a little bit. And these blue coaches were primarily seen during one specific Season 4 episode called Peter, Sam, and the Refreshment Lady, because Peter Sam takes a couple of these coaches to the refreshment stand, and then he ends up leaving the refreshment lady behind and all that story. So they appear in the background in multiple Season 4 episodes, especially the ones about the narrow gauge engines. But then interestingly, after Season 4, the coaches still appeared, but they lost their faces for some reason, which I just don't understand, because normally I probably would have not asked for these custom coaches to be made, but I thought their faces made them really unique. And so without, anything interesting going on, yes, the coach part is cool and all that, but I was really interested in the faces, and DomelessEngine did a great job at replicating the faces. This is like a concerned or worry coach, and again, same paint all the way around, made from an Annie model. I believe he just chose the faces from, he just looked up pictures of the narrow gauge coaches and found, I know, there is one specific worried coach, and then there's one like kind of angry coach, and then there are a couple of coaches with happy faces. But the big thing is that the coaches' expressions, obviously, in the TV series are supposed to change. But instead of giving them all the exact same face, which I thought would have been really boring, I decided to have DomelessEngine just, paint them all in with various degrees of different expressions. and I thought they turned out really well. So obviously the happy faces are good, but the not happy faces, I guess, are just more interesting because we're so used to seeing happy characters in the Thomas and Friends series. So that's what the coach looks like. I've been holding it in my hand for some time. That's what it looks like on the rails. And then at the end here, I'll put them all together and we can see what they look like in one big train. So this is my favorite coach just because I think the expression is great. It's sort of this angry coach that presumes to be yelling, you know, hey, Peter Sam, you left the refreshment lady behind. What's interesting is that, according to the Thomas and Friends wiki, these coaches share a remarkable similarity to, I think it's, what are the names? Agnes, here we go, Agnes, Ruth, Lucy, and Jemima, I'm guessing. Those were the old coaches that were featured in the Railway series book. I can't remember the name of the book off the top of my head. I just did a good enough job, you know, naming the coaches. But they appeared in those flashback stories when Skarloey and Rheneas first came to Sodor and first came to the Skarloey Railway, where they didn't even have cabs or anything like that. So there are those 4 coaches who all have varying degrees of personality, and the only difference though is on the front here, like half of the face is blue and half of the face is white. I hope I got the two areas. It might be, you know, reversed, like the white might be on the bottom and the top might be up top. Regardless, anyway, in the Railway series, what I'm getting at is in the Railway series, the coaches actually had names and they look slightly different. But in the TV series, those coaches seem to still exist, but they aren't given names. So we can't be like 100% sure that that is, or that those are, you know, Agnes and Lucy and Ruth and Jemima. There's also a brake van that goes along with these coaches called Cora. And yeah, just overall, these coaches are really, really impressive. I just love the varying degrees of expressions we get. We got like all the major ranges of emotions, like happy or sad or worried or just kind of dismissive. And then we have this angry coach that is like obviously not having the best of days. But anyway, I think that'll do it for this custom Thomas Wooden Railway model video. Big thanks to DomelessEngine. He did, you know, the Arsdale Open coaches for me, and now he's done these pieces of rolling stock. And I know the rolling stock, especially when you're making multiple custom pieces of one type of engine or whatever rolling stock, I know the work can be fairly repetitive. But I'm glad at least these coaches have faces on them, and so, you know, there's a little bit of, you know, distinctiveness between the two. So thanks to DomelessEngine. I would love to hear your guys' thoughts on these coaches. And as of right now, I plan on using them in my series. I have those sort of like, you know, white or cream colored and green narrow gauge coaches that are actually licensed Thomas products. I have 3 of those. Or I don't know if they're green. Maybe they're green in the... I know there's like some green coaches in the TV series, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I guess they are green. Or they're a combination of green or blue or something like that. But anyway, I have 3 of those coaches that were sold in the Rheneas and the roller coaster set. And that's what I've primarily used over the years as narrow gauge coaches besides Ada, Jane, and Mabel. I do plan on using these coaches in my series just because it's always nice to have pieces of rolling stock for the Skarloey Railway, so I can't really see a reason why I wouldn't use them. Don't know if they'll speak or anything like that, but hey, they'll be in the background, and it'll just give the narrow gauge engines something else to pull, which is always a good thing. So let me know what you guys think of these customs below. I think they are extremely impressive, especially the custom faces that DomelessEngine worked on. He did a magnificent job, and be sure to leave your love and praise in the comments below. Again, I didn't have anything to do with these customs. I'm just the one that asked DomelessEngine to do them for me, and he obliged, and now I get to do the easy part of making a video about them. So thanks everybody so much for watching. I've got some more custom Thomas Wooden Railway videos coming up here in just a couple days. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.